Hey, what's up guys? Chief Pat here, and today bringing you guys a brand new Clash Royale video. And inside of this video, I'm going to show you guys the new deck I've been playing on my second account that I've actually won 8 straight battles with. So you can see the deck right here. It is a typical Hog Freeze deck that a lot of people are using towards the very top. I think this deck might be the most popular one inside of the top 100. And if you take a look at my 8 last battles, they were actually all victories as I climb my way towards the top. I was trying to use some weird decks with the Furnace, with the Fire Spirits, using a lot of the new cards, but I really wasn't having a lot of success, so I switched to this deck, and I actually haven't lost just yet, so let me go ahead and show you guys how to play this deck inside of this video. Now, as you can see, I'm starting off with the Elixir Pump, and something I've told you guys in previous videos is that the Elixir Pump is a pretty hard card to play when you're a lower level, going against someone, but for some reason, this deck actually works really well against people who are higher level than you, and Hog Freeze seems to be a great equalizer when it comes to levels. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a free spell and a Valkyrie onto this Hog Rider Royal Giant push. Looks like we're going to be going up against a Royal Giant deck, and this guy actually has 2001 trophies, so if we're able to take him out, we should get somewhere around 40, and that'll definitely get us closer to going into the Legendary Arena yet again. Or not Legendary Arena, the Royal Arena, which we've only been to one time on this account. Okay, so we've got our second Elixir Pump down right now. You can see how I'm pumping up. Rather than drop arrows, which would just cost 3 Elixir and I'd get nothing positive out of it, I actually dropped my Musketeer instead. Sacrificed a little bit of damage on the left-hand side, but you can see right now that I'm pumping up this Elixir, I have a massive lead, and he's going to play a Sparky in the very back. Now, that's one of the first Sparkies I've ever seen on this account, so I dropped a wow right there, but we're actually going to take an insane amount of damage off of that left-hand tower. We can go ahead and arrow down the minions as well as the archers, which should be one-shottable by our tower. And at this point, we've got the perfect counter to the Sparky with our 1 Elixir Skeletons, and things are looking really good so far. I'm so confident that I'm going to play another Elixir Collection in the very back. You can see my Skeletons. Noticed how I surrounded the Sparky. I didn't drop them all right in front of it just to get exploded in one blast, so I got a lot of value out of those 1 Elixir Skeletons, taking out a 6 Elixir Sparky. And right now, even though we're taking a little bit of damage with that Royal Giant, we still have 2 Elixir Pumps down, and this guy has no way to try to crack into our base. Alright, so Valkyrie and Hog Rider running towards the tower. He's going to drop his Fireball, and while I might have dropped my Freeze, I knew that 2 hits was enough for my Hog Rider to take it out, so no point in wasting that 4 Elixir on the Freeze. And yeah, so far so good. 2 Elixir Pumps are down. We've got the cannon to stop the Hog Rider. Arrows seem pretty solid at this point. I just wanted to get those out of the way before dropping my Valkyrie, and now that those 2 archers are approaching the tower, let's drop our Valkyrie as soon as they get in tower range, and another Elixir Collector is going to go down on the bottom left for a total of 3 on the map so far. You guys can see how I'm playing this deck. I'm playing it to where I snowball my Elixir advantage. I know someone in the last video said take a drink every time Pat says snowball. The comment section in the last Let's Play video was hilarious, by the way, but yeah, we wanted to snowball our advantage with all those Elixir Pumps. You can see we've got the free spell. We're going to get both towers as well as the bomber, just making sure we keep up a little bit of offensive pressure, so it's not just him attacking that left-hand tower over and over again. We're actually going to bring that tower all the way down to a couple hundred HP, and even if he was able to take out my left-hand tower, things still would have been okay. He's actually going to get it down to 47, but again, Hog Rider's going down the right-hand lane, and that's going to give us a relatively simple victory against someone who is 2 levels higher than us. So again, we're trying to build up a huge Elixir lead. It's okay to take a little bit of damage onto your towers, as long as you know you can make a reverse push and to be able to take them out. So let's go ahead and hop into another battle against a level 8, and I actually think this hand is pretty solid. So starting hand, again, I played the Elixir Collector first, which could be easily abusable by someone who knew how to beat it, but it seems like a lot of people, like this guy right here, they wait a lot of time to play their first card, and I'm actually going to get pretty much a free Elixir Collector down. I said thanks because he gave me a free 5 Elixir from that Elixir Collector, and that is actually going to be pretty huge going into the rest of the battle. Now, a really well-placed Fireball, he's going to take out my Musketeer as well as damage a lot of my Elixir Pump, so that almost put everything to waste that I got for free in the very beginning. But let's go ahead and get ready for a big push down the left-hand lane. We've got the Valkyrie, we've got the Skeletons. We're going to use the Hog Rider to shove the Valkyrie down the lane, and now we're going to freeze both the Valkyrie, Baby Dragon, as well as the tower, but unfortunately, he does have enough Elixir for the Barbarian somehow. I guess sitting on all that Elixir in the very beginning of the battle paid off just a bit, so we really didn't get too much damage onto the tower, only going to take it down to 1928 HP, and he's going to go for a counter push with the Prince, so I dropped my Skeletons to tank the Prince's charge. We've got the Skeletons still tanking a good amount of damage, and yeah, so far so good with a minute and 45 seconds left inside of this battle. Now I do want to get my elixir pumps up as soon as possible. This deck really does require that you keep that elixir flow constant, especially when you're playing players who are higher level than you. You definitely want to make sure that you have an elixir surplus. So he played some goblins to stop my Valkyrie. Those things got taken out pretty easily, and so far so good. He says good game. I don't know if he was just like unconfident against playing me, or maybe he thought that he was just going to destroy me at this point. I'm not sure why he said good game, but taking a look at my cards, I really don't have anything great I can play with the Hog Rider, so I sort of just play it by itself, and as soon as that skeleton goes army goes down, I'm going to freeze that. He'll end up fireballing it, and overall pretty even trade. We get a little bit of damage from our arrows. But still, with a minute left in the battle, we really haven't found that solid push yet that we need to win the game. We're just going to have to keep cycling through our cards, keep getting elixir collectors down, and eventually we should be able to just overflow him with the elixir. But he's going to go for a massive push in the right-hand lane. I'm actually going to have to freeze that. I was really scared of everything that he was placing, and he's actually going to get some goblins down that are attacking my tower. So it's pretty important that we take those out. However, on the left-hand side, we've got the Musketeer free shooting at that tower. He, of course, will play his own Musketeer to counter, but we're still going to get 400 damage. So even though we took a little bit of a lump right there on the right-hand side, we're still looking pretty good. We've got 3 elixir collectors down now, and we can start making a big push using our Hog Rider. All right, so Hog Rider's making its way down. We've got the Valkyrie, we've got the skeletons, we've got the free spell ready to go down on the Prince before he charges. And with the skeleton army getting absolutely evaporated from our Valkyrie right there, we're going to have some nice arrows as well. And that tower is going to go all the way down to a few hundred HP before his Musketeer locks onto mine. Free spell ready because we have so much elixir from our elixir pumps. And that's going to wrap it up for a... What? Okay. 3 elixir left. I think I missed the free spell on the tower right there, so we're going to drop our arrows instead. Good game to Mr. Cena, and again, a pretty flawless victory against a level 8. We took some damage on both of our towers while we stacked up our elixir, but by the time we had our 30 elixir collector down, there was almost nothing that he can do. Let's go ahead and go into one more battle against Steve from New Zealand, and to see if we can try this deck one more time. We've won 10 straight battles using this deck, and it seems just so incredibly powerful, and I definitely recommend you guys try it out if you haven't already. It's really good for when you're playing players who are higher level than you, which is what I look for when I'm playing on decks on this account, because normally I see level 8s pretty much all the time inside of Builder's Workshop, and hopefully soon inside of the Royal Arena. But starting off against Steve, we've got a Musketeer as well as an Elixir Collector trying to pump up as soon as possible. His Giant's going to be able to tank all of our Musketeer's damage, and look at his Musketeer doing a little bit of a dance as it was trying to lock on. But we're just going to play some defense. We've got a Valkyrie for the Bomber and the Musketeer. That's going to be a crazy positive trade right there. And yeah, he played a Fireball onto our Elixir Collector, and at this point, I think he's pretty low on Elixir. So I'm just going to play another Elixir Pump immediately. That's going to take us for the next minute to get a pretty solid profit. But from here, let's see what we want to play next. And I'm getting ready to play my Musketeer. All right, so Musketeer is going to be the only card to play in this situation. And as I go to drop it, I start lagging like crazy. If you guys don't know, I am in Korea right now in a hotel on this hotel Wi-Fi. I had to reload my game, and as soon as I log back in, Steve, with no manners and no mercy, is just destroying the left-hand side of my map. Steve, why you gotta do this to me, man? Steve ended up taking my whole left-hand side, taking out the tower. And from here, I considered just swiping up and counting this game as a loss, but instead, I'm going to go on the offensive with the Hog Freeze. Looks like we should be able to get all of those skeletons for a perfectly placed freeze spell, but still, we are at such a disadvantage right now. Things were looking so good because with that defense, I made such a positive trade when I played the Valkyrie on top of the Bomber and the Musketeer before the game lagged out, so really unfortunate stuff. Let's play some skeletons to counter that Goblin Barrel. We've got the Musketeer to help out. Goblins are still doing insane damage onto my King Tower, and we can't let my King Tower get too low. If it gets too low, he can Fireball it out or just Goblin Barrel it out, so I'm going to make another Hog Rider push down the left-hand lane. He'll drop his Musketeer, and we're going to try to freeze that out as soon as possible, as well as drop some arrows on the Skeleton Horde, as well as those Spear Goblins. Alright, so tower's down to 296. If we get one more Hog Rider, we should be able to take that tower out, but again, we're playing against the pressure of getting 3 crowned. We don't have too much health left on our King Tower after getting dominated in that first push. Skeleton skeletons immediately to help stop that barrel of goblins, but then as soon as the fireball goes down, he's going to get a crazy amount of damage. We end up having to drop our free spell on the musketeer as well as his other troops, and with only 10 seconds left in the game, let's drop a hog rider to jump over the water, go for the tower, and the arrows actually end up missing the tower, but the hog rider should have just enough damage to take that tower out. Okay, so pretty impressive getting this game to overtime after disconnecting and losing a tower for free, but still not going to be able to do too much against that final push, and Steve's going to take us out 3-1. So I drop a wow. He got pretty lucky right there with that disconnect because I feel like I definitely would have won that game. So unlucky hotel disconnect with minus 30 trophies in that final battle right there. So yeah, we're at 1,931 trophies, guys. I've won 10 straight battles if you don't include that hotel Wi-Fi loss right there, but still things look really good. If you guys have not tried out this deck, I even have a level 1 free spell and it still works perfectly for me, as well as my hog rider is only level 4, which is pretty weak. I keep donating them to my clanmates. I need to save some for myself, but it's safe to say that this deck is one of the best decks, if not the best deck at lower arenas. So if you guys have a free spell, make sure you guys check it out. That's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you drop a like. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.